We should be live. We should be live. We should be live. Welcome, everyone. Turtle Power! Starting the show.
Should hear me, but just the music. But I think people in the Zoom can hear me, even though no one on the radio can. Someone said they can. That's not good. Oh, I think they can hear me after all. Ruining the professional aspect of this show. Oh, hello there. Wait a minute. Hello there, everyone. I think I'm still muted. Hello there, everyone. Good evening. Apparently you could hear me even though you weren't supposed to. Either the Alan Conchina has special powers, or I don't know what I'm doing. And let's be honest, Alan Conchina has very special powers. I'm now turning up the crew mics. Crew, is anyone there? Can you hear me?
All aboard, Captain. How are we?
Hey, Brad. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Or to hear you, I should say.
Right.
Yes, welcome to Saturday Night Ride. I think everything's up. I think everybody is live and everything.
Yep, I just checked in on the chat and you sound good, James.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Stretch.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Well, happy Saturday night.
That's right. Yeah, we've had the last 2 weekends have been off. Been a little bit busy, haven't been able to fly the ship as much as I'd like, but it's great to be back, and thank you so much for joining me.
Captain, there was needed maintenance in there. We did have to, tweak the levity tanks. We had to reinflate the tires.
That's right. So. Yep, and that little registration sticker is so hard to get on an airship. It really is. It's really hard. And then you got to climb up there and peel off the other one and then find a new one. Then you got to take a razor blade because you live in a bad neighborhood and you want to split it into 6 pieces apparently, because apparently that's how you stop people from stealing your register. Have you heard about this?
No.
Yeah. Or you have to melt it on there with a hair dryer.
There's all kinds of tricks. Yeah. It's so apparently if you put your sticker on your license plate and you don't want it to get stolen, you take a razor blade and you cut it into 4 squares or 6 squares. And then when they come try and pull I don't know who they is, but whoever they is, probably underpants gnomes that have noticed that there's sort of not as many opportunities in their market. So they've switched into registration stickers. and they would go try and pull the sticker off, and because it's been cut with a razor blade, they
only get a quarter.
They have to pull 6 stickers off or 4 stickers off. Yeah.
This is one of the most underreported crimes there is out there. Registration theft. It's huge. Everyone's doing it.
Yeah, and possession is 1/6 of the law, so a lot of them are getting away with it. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and break this down. When I was a child, I came up with a multi-million-dollar operation. I'm going to share it with you now.
I'm taking that.
Would like for you to take out a dollar bill, and I'd like you to take a pair of scissors, and I want you to cut that dollar bill in 3/4, 3/4. No. Cut it in 55%. Okay, cut that bill 55%. Now you have a bill that is a little bit more than a solid bill. Okay, you're going to take that bill to the bank, and you're going to say, "Hey, I need another bill," and then they're going to give you another one because by law that's what they have to do. Meanwhile,
you can put them together.
You've got at your house 45% of a bill. Okay. Yeah. Now that 45% is not going to count as a bill until you cut another bill. The next bill you cut, I want you to take 10% off the left side, right? And then 45% off the right side. Now you have, there's a lot of math here, okay? But now you have a 35% bill left over. But you have 2 pieces of bills that are chimerically bonded through just the fact that they look the same. You take that to the bank, and then you get that bill. Now, you've just laundered money. You've just done it. You now have all the pieces necessary to create a whole new bill. And if you do this like 50 trillion times, you're gonna be tired. You're gonna be like, this is a lot of work. And you're going to have to go through some disguises. I think after I thought about this as a kid. I was like, the hardest thing about this is the disguise. I'm not going to be able to pull this off. Because, back then, all transactions were, sometimes if you had a car, you could use the sacred air velocity, machine, that thing that shot the pill, the capsule. Yeah. But otherwise, pretty much you're gonna have to be doing this face to face. So you're gonna need a long coat. You're gonna need a couple of your friends, and you're gonna need to rotate faces every time you go get a new bill. So you're gonna have to learn how to sit on someone else's shoulders. You're gonna have to find the raincoat. But I've seen this done on TV, so I know it's easy. And then you're good. Now you're gonna have to split some money with the other guy. I mean, it's just fair, right? So this is a lot of work. But it does have a profit, very clear profit, much more than I would argue Underpants Gnomes. I think that their model's flawed, honestly. I think that it just, the enthusiasm takes off because you're like, we're going to go steal underpants. What I'm giving you is something that is tried and true. It's a future. It is a handle in the corporate world. It is a leg up. And I don't want you to be chasing those underpants until you're going to need some money. And this is a plan to do that. So there you go.
Well, instead of, people go doctor shopping, you're going to have to go bank shopping just so you can have, rearrange your disguises, different heights, different trench coats. You're just going to have to hit a couple different banks with these partial dollar bills.
Yeah. And now
it's pretty diabolical, James, I have to say.
Thank you. I was like 10.
Yeah.
I was like 1981. Like before.
So if you came up with that then, why couldn't you have told me that about 2 years ago when I got a couple of broken hundreds in my tip jar and I thought, oh, this guy's really throwing me money. And I didn't realize till after the fact that they were portions of them. And I found out the hard way that you have to have more than 50% of the bill per account.
Yeah.
I could have cut 2 of them up and still made it work. But
that's right.
You were withholding your plans. I appreciate it.
Well, I was saving it for you, Brad. Now we can upgrade the airship. We can add some cool. I want us to add some cool light effects. I think it'd be really neat if we add some cool strobe lights to the airship, like drone
Maybe
strobes.
Some strobe goggles.
Goggles are important up here. You know that.
For sure.
It's one of the first lessons of flight training here on the crew is you're gonna have to wear some goggles, and we put you in the air tunnel, and we make sure you're wearing goggles. It's part of the safety protocols that we put in place here on the airship. Safety first.
Stay safe.
You can't fly blind. You can't do it.
I think
Oh,
a requirement is
now you
fairy
tell me.
lights.
Fairy
We need
lights.
Fairy lights? Oh, this is even better. Yeah.
Yep. We'd have to give some ambiance.
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 Louvre.
Is
Louvre.
that French for ambience? Ambiance.
Ambiance.
Only if you say it that way. Only if you say it that way. Otherwise, I think it's like southern Georgia. Probably. Which most French words came from southern Georgia.
No, that.
Yeah. Retardé, that's totally from southern Georgia, right? I mean, there's a lot of
Or-
that.
or
Guys, I grew up
Hawaii.
in southern Georgia. I know my southern Georgia, okay? I know what's there. I've been there.
They don't say goodbye. They say au revoir.
That's right. They do. They do. Or a reservoir. That's the Aurora Reservoir is
Reservoir, doll.
yeah, it's a quarry reservoir. And yeah. Did you see the louvers on that lady down there at the reservoir? Woo, she's got a louvre on her. I think that's how it works. And then they're like, oh, museum. Yeah. She's a cathedral to crown jewels that apparently are pretty easy to steal in the middle of the day. Louvre got broken into last week. That was something. Any thoughts on that, anyone?
I saw some of the jewels. I have to say, when they were showing some of the pieces that were heisted, I was like, wow, that is a lot of sparkle. They had a Marie Antoinette set with the crown and the necklace. It was just beautiful.
It
I
was
just
beautiful,
really
yeah.
gazing at it. Like, I don't know if I'd ever want to wear it, but I was like, wow, it's just the intricacy of the design and yeah. Did they ever find out who did that? I haven't really followed the case. What's going on with that,
I
everybody?
haven't either. I haven't even seen, but I know that they did it at like 9 a.m. in the morning. They backed a ladder truck right up to the building at 9 in the morning, and then got away on like some little mopeds or something.
I think it was the Pink Panther.
Oh, it totally was.
It was definitely dun 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 dun.
I did read on People that the security clearance, the security cameras, the Wi-Fi code for the security cameras at the Louvre was Louvre.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I read that in People. I actually made sure that wasn't like fake, and you know what I mean. There's like two levels of fake. There's like People magazine fake, then there's like fake, you know. And so it's in that People magazine. Yeah, but I thought that was interesting too. That was very human, I thought.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm not going to lie. It's really hard to spell Louvre. I mean, seriously. So I think they were just trying to like stay away from like American bank robbers, you know? They were just like, we're not worried about the French guys. And that's what did them. There's their Achilles heel.
Yep, they'll never be able to spell it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Or as we say in the South,
locals.
it's actually a Chili's, because there's a lot of Chili's restaurants. So it's the Achilles heel. And yeah, it's different. We invented that word too, guys. That's right. Oldest mountain in the world, Appalachian. So of course all languages would come from this space here. So yeah, that happened. That was a Turtle Island report. That's a lot's going on right now. Like a whole lot.
They say the Appalachians stretch over into like Ireland too, right?
Is that right?
After the continents had like drifted apart, there's part of the Appalachian Mountains that are, I think it's Ireland.
Wow.
Which would make sense because when Irish people ended up over here, that's where they went, was up into the Appalachian Mountains. And it would have been like a similar environment to what they were used to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Scottish Highlands is one of the oldest white guy civilizations.
Well, I think there was a land piece called Laurentia that I could be wrong on that, but it's Turtle Island and it includes Greenland and Iceland.
Did you say Laurentia? That's
Laurentia.
This is very southern Georgia.
Laurentia.
It's Laurentia. This is great, honey. This is very southern. It has to be true.
Yeah. So it used to be connected with Iceland as well. So that's why I think it's kind of funny that they talk about wanting to pull Iceland into the whole Greenland Turtle Island coalition. That's being kind of danced around out there as coming together. I think this administration was wanting to incorporate Greenland there, at least at the beginning of his administration.
That's
that
right.
was quite an exciting conversation. In the Panama Canal situation is also fascinating with China involved there. And gosh, it's just all going on Turtle Island, north and south.
Yeah. I'd say this plan has probably been in place for decades. And you are watching the larger creature. Sometimes you get to see the meta creature move. And this new United States, someone in that town, I had mentioned this briefly, but one of the cartels had shot a mayor in this town. He did it during the Day of the Dead festival, like in the middle of all the public being there. Very kind of like the worst thing you would possibly do if you were a cartel in America's like wandering around the Caribbean blowing up drug boats, and they're like want to invade foreign countries. And if the narrative is correct that you're living in a haven, a drug haven inside Mexico City, let's not shoot the mayor during the Day of the Dead festival. Like that's sort of a kind of the backwards thing to do. So
yeah, like the worst day of the year to do it.
Yeah, you'd want to wait. Just wait 3 weeks. Just look at the mayor and go, I'm going to kill you in 3 weeks. And then you got the intimidation. Let him have the holidays. You take your time off. You've been working hard, cartel. Come on. You've been working too hard. Take the rest of the year off. You can do this in January. Do it in February, something like that. Trump he won't even be here anymore. You won't have to worry about it. Instead, it's like the very heart, like at the very apex of this thing, on the Day of the Dead festival.
Statement. Boom.
This tells me there's a plan. This tells me that this is something that's been in the works for a while. And I think that makes sense. People that have their act together, meaning large conglomerates, they have long-term plans. Things take longer than 4 years. And so those plans kind of end up kind of staying sort of underground, but they're not even under the ground that much. A lot of these are very easy to find. Project 2025, of course, which is supposed to be kind of what we're in now. And then apparently there's like a double secret plan, like super double secret plan probably. And if I'm telling you about it, I'm going to have to kill you. So let's not go there. But yeah, so things are being unveiled before our very eyes.
That's the thing. It's so easy to put these plans. I don't even have to be coy about these plans, because people are so attracted to just shiny things that they'll look at snap. They'll look at bombs blowing up in the Caribbean, and even though you already told them what the plan was, they forgot.
Yeah, it's so easy. Yeah, it's so easy to be distracted. I think I'm guilty of that too. Even with the Charlie Kirk shooting would be such a perfect bone to throw into the yard to distract a bunch of dogs.
Yeah,
right in the middle of this, and then you'd want to. I've been thinking a lot about this, that it's the CIA that wins the wars and it's the military that loses. And so you purposely use the military to kind of lose a battle, and then you use the CIA to actually win one. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of what we're seeing in history, all the times that I've noticed, how come we don't finish this? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? It's because there's another war that's being won, and the military is sort of like the fez hat outer church of the Freemasonry,
Yeah, like when when Biden just pulled out all those troops from Afghanistan and left all the supplies and stuff there. That wasn't like an accident.
Yeah, exactly.
That wasn't like they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
They're planning other stuff behind the backgrounds for their little proxy wars or whatever they want to start, so they can go back over there in 10 years or whatever.
Yeah, I've been...
and that's why I don't think it's a coincidence that the CIA, which initially was the OSS, came online in the 40s at the end of World War II, right? And that was the last time Congress declared war, the last time any of this was officially done. I think there's a lot there.
That's a great point. Yep.
I think that you work on the propaganda stuff, so like what this new Netflix movie's coming out with, like UFO disclosure, and all the people that are in it are CIA ops. Mm-hmm. It's like the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Because it's all an illusion, We're being like propagandized.
Right, Lori, though, that's where the CIA specializes, right?
Yeah.
That side of it.
Yeah, it's actually the highest level of fear would be, there's this invasion and it's not a country. It's like from the stars.
Totally.
It's like we're going to be afraid of where we're flying right now.
Mm-hmm.
Turtle Island is under attack, but from a mystery that nobody can name, like 3-Eye Atlas.
Yeah, the Three Eye Atlas stuff is so beautiful. I'm really enjoying
And you
that.
got the Avi Loeb, who was like he's a genius at Harvard, but he was also, Mossad,
I don't know this. I didn't
Yeah.
hear the name.
He's actually,
What was the name again?
Israel is, like, he he's an Israel kind of person. I don't have all those words right.
Yeah, that's
but
okay. But I thought you said his name was
Avi Loeb.
Avi Loeb. Thank you. That's the thing I didn't hear. Avi Loeb.
And like
Okay.
he's just been putting out fear about like these drones that are going to be dropping off the Three Eye Atlas when it comes around the sun, and from Harvard. He's just like
No way.
propaganda coming out.
Wow.
Kind of interesting, huh?
I tell you, it's probably the whole new way of communicating now. Everything is more hieroglyphic. Everything is more emoticonical. Like even the groypers, this new, like the younger generation that feels disenfranchised and that they have to communicate in some of the most stochastic language, right? That they can find, like Hitler and stuff like that. And it's like, I'm noticing that this is what a higher bandwidth communication, this is like a 5G of like interpersonal feelings between each other. So the memes have to be edgier. The tone has to be sharper.
More emotions?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And no one else is going to listen to any reason is a rumor. And this new culture knows that is meaningless. And that if you want to really, really get out there and make the most attention, you're going to have pizzazz. And so we've entered into this hyper reality. And it's really more based on attention. It's more attention based. It's much more less real. I swear that's a phrase. It's much more less real than it was less real before. You're allowed to be less real now, more less real than you were before.
Well, it's happening so fast. Like there's one story after another. So you can't even keep track to find out what happened in the resolution of this last story.
Yeah.
Before there's another one.
Yeah. And I think that's part of it, because that would ruin the illusion. If you noticed how it didn't have legs.
It's just like everything else. You don't need the end of the story. It's about the journey to the end of the story.
Yeah.
It's about the whole story. It's not about the plot twist at the end or whatever.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, even the way shorts are built now, it's so interesting. It's so backwards from everything I've ever been taught. Not that I've even been taught well, but about story, and that a short will start with the pinnacle part of the plot first. I'm talking about one of these like vertical videos, by the way, but it's like the very first thing you see is you're in the middle of the video and it's showing you the gold first. If I could be vulgar, it's showing you the centerfold without making you go through all the stereo ads, like in a Playboy magazine or something. It's
totally noticed. It's like it has to catch your attention.
Yeah, right away. You have to show right away up front.
What was that? I better watch this and find out rather than keep on scrolling.
Yeah.
Well, that's like that goldfish attention span. I think we've lessened to lessen goldfish now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. It's also, we've gained resolution inside of that goldfish too, though. Like maybe we miss more big picture. Actually, I don't know. I'm sort of disagreeing with myself as I say this, because it's like we do touch bigger picture now.
You can get more because your bandwidth is more, so you can tap on a gazillion things. It's like you're in a holodeck.
Yeah, yeah.
And I also think, just because you're talking about our resolution being higher, I think we're absorbing more subtle levels. And so it seems like our attention span is really short, and it is that kind of thing. But we also know that our consciousness is taking in everything, whether we're focusing in on it or not. And I think part of it is we are taking on deeper and subtle levels quicker, because frankly, I just don't think that some of these things and some of these memes and some of these things that come up, these wouldn't have been discussed at all, just taboo, right? But now they're there, but they're in a way that it is jarring, but at the same, or it's in short bits, and you have to pay attention quick. But what I'm saying is, even though the attention span is short, I think that the deeper levels are getting as well. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's your volume's a little bit low, Brad. I did hear you, but I wanted to let you know. I don't know if it's
okay. I'll try and speak. But I was just saying, I think that we're actually taking in maybe more information at the cellular levels because we're able to now, but that it's presented in short bits because maybe we're able to take in more information in shorter bits. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. It does seem like our attention span, maybe that's it. Our attention span overall, I don't even know if it's shorter. I think it's just more honest how short it is. I don't know because a long time ago books were meant to be long, and Charles Dickens, he literally just wouldn't shut up so many pages. It's just like, come on, dude, really? But you didn't have you wanted the book to be long.
It was precious because you didn't have a lot of books.
Yeah, exactly. And so it does reveal really what a classic is. How we would define a classic even changes because now we realize, oh, there's really no such thing as a classic. It's more about how well is something built for the time that it's in. How well does it serve its purpose? And so everything's being turned on its end. The plot has to come first. Everything has to be a reality television show, but it also has to be fake because you can't just do like a reality television show. That's not going to work. Like you hear the word reality television show, and then you're like, why are people not watching me wander around the grocery store? Like, why is this not exciting for people? So it's a hyper edited. I think editing is so much more important than we understand.
Yeah.
I would even say that AI is helping, although it's not really working, but it really does show you that your ability to edit a prompt and even edit what the prompt spits out and to say, yes, this is the image I want. That is ultimately what all art really is, deciding this is the flower that I want to take home. This is the picture that I want to snap. This is the perspective that I want to draw, or this is the song that I want to play. This is really more important than how well did you pluck those strings? How evenly did you spread the pencil across the page? It's more about the editing, but because we get so lost in the technique, I don't know if we've had enough room to learn that. Cinematography gave us that, like in a huge way. If you think about film editing, I think that it was really blowing people's minds back then, noticing what happened for the very first time. What happens when you show someone a moving picture and then change the moving picture to something else. That there's a lot of different words for these effects. One of which is if you show a pie and then you show a man's face, that man's face can be a normal expression, but you bequeath him with hunger. It blurs into the emotion that you read. Have you guys heard about this? Because I don't want to bore you if you've already know about it. But these kind of phenomenons.
But I totally get it because the way that you can, the way that editing works to manipulate someone's perspective and emotion in that way to garner the response you're going for. Absolutely, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So if you think about this principle, there's a lot of different kinds of principles. You can instill fear into a frame. So you would show a scene at night, and then you show a virgin face, like a Jason movie typical. Here's a pretty woman's face, but it's only because it's right after a scene where you do not know what's there, and that the fact that you do not know what's there, combined with this innocent kind of predator prey kind of a thing, set into, think about what the movie title is, what the previews for that movie embedded in you. So each of these things is priming the next thing, and the priming of those next things, if you think about it, all of the art of cinematography is that space between. What did you show them first, and then what did you show them next? This ultimately is what the art is, the same way that music is. Well, sure, you pluck this string and you pluck this string, but what was happening in between? because what was happening in between is what's making this song so memorable. And that's fascinating to me, how that works, that none of it's tangible. This is editing.
Yeah. They always say the empty space between, the latent space in between is kind of where the audience member, it's engaging that aspect of the audience's mind, right? It's working on their subconscious to fill in that blank, which is just the way they use music. You can use the same clip, right? Same footage, visual footage, set it in different music, and it invokes a very different emotion.
Yeah.
But now we're having like this like Turtle Island report, right? And everywhere I look for a report from Turtle Island, there's so many fractals of where do you look? Before there was like, 4 channels you watched, NBC, CBS, or, whatever.
Right.
And now you have like the independent media, the paid for curated media. You can get the cable, whatever. And it's like, there's so, and all of it seems to have these primary fear colors to it. It doesn't matter if what it is anymore. It's like all AI generated to do something to your hormones. It elicits something in you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we'd watch if it wasn't.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think we no longer have the appetite. It's like with long novels and such, right? That was at the time when you didn't have as much information. Again, that fidelity, it's much information to process. So you were operating at a slower frequency, therefore the message was delivered in a slower form, which is what.
Do you think people are just like getting to this place where they're just, I think about age groups and, certain age groups are stuck into certain medias. And then the younger age group is just like TikToking.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's why I think the younger audience is functioning on a different, when you go like that, on a different sort of frequency and truth in terms of being able to how we process, how we process information.
Isn't that what the 6-7 thing is? So there's this resonance going around in the tween generation and it's 6-7, and whenever like apparently all across the country,
it doesn't really have a meaning. It's like the whole point of them saying it is like we're gonna try to we're gonna troll the older generation into thinking that this is something.
So like
I didn't realize that was a thing. That the fact that some of those jokes were explicitly meant just to confuse.
But it's literally nonsense. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah. It was like a rapper said it in a song. Then he was like rapping about a basketball player's height or something.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I guess it went around TikTok. Someone made clips about it on TikTok and all the kids started saying 6-7.
Oh my God.
That's how it works.
Yeah, there was like a
But it doesn't have any meaning behind it.
Well, it does have meaning. The meaning is it's a secret.
Right. That's like, this is the secret that we have. It's something that we have over the older generation, I guess, kind of. Like something that they don't get.
Right? Yeah.
It's kind of, I think maybe it's like a retaliation type thing of like, you know how when you're younger, adults are always like, oh, I'll tell you when you're older, or you just don't get it because you're not old enough. It's like the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get it because you're old, Mom. But it doesn't mean any. It's not like a hidden meaning behind it that they're actually trying to convey to each other when they say it.
No, it's even an aspect of the fact I feel like that it's a like. Have y'all also seen the phenomenon that, like, for example, just me, my generation, y'all young generation, that the gap has shrunk because now 20-year-olds are feeling ancient because of what 11-year-olds are doing. Do you know what I'm saying? And I didn't experience that. But now 13-year-olds are feeling out of the loop all of a sudden, and that's crazy to me. But that's something that my kids have my son clued me into, is the fact that that's where it's moving at. It's like he's not even 20 yet, but he's being locked out of the generation that's coming up, the tween generation now, by the same metric. It's fun. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
There was this basketball game, and
all the kids were there, and the score was like 65, and one girl starts filming the scoreboard, and they're shooting free throws, whatever it is, where you only get 1 point, and they're doing that, and someone hits a free throw, and it goes to 6-6. And her and her friends, they're tripping out, like they're just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and they're watching the scoreboard, and it hits 6-7, and the entire room exploded, the entire gymnasium exploded, and there's no way that this is a telepathy. It's a telepathic amperage, and this is why I call it a hieroglyphic kind of language, because it has a meaning that's humming inside of it, and that it's powered by the bandwidth of that generation. That generation's able to place emotions, the emoticons, into trivial spots, places that right. could not have flowers growing before, now have these little fruit trees, little flavor crystals that are really crucially important for that generation to make it across that desert. It's a limbic desert between these unhuman wastelands that could be filled with emotion. So the meaning of 6-7, I don't think it's exclusionary. I think it's meant for you too. You're meant to see that and understand this is a great opportunity to humanize this space. And you and I do it too. We've been doing it too. MTV did it. Elvis did it. All these cultural shifts. Film did it. Yep. So Pepe did it. QAnon did it. Charlie Kirk did it. So I think that we're looking at this new profound tool set, and it's not necessarily, it would make sense that we would see it in the early generations first, because they're right out of the factory. They don't have a lot of older sort of tendencies that work really well. So it would be quite natural that they would be looking for they're going to be innovators in that way. So
they learned to swipe on an iPhone before they learned to
that's right.
talk.
Yeah.
Before they learned to talk, really. They know how to do icons and the symbols of the icon. 2-year-olds know how to turn anything on. Yeah. Know how to do it all. Yeah, it's amazing.
In a way, they're learning to communicate in a language that older generations are having to catch up to almost, right?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because there's an international ISO standard for I can't think of the name of this, but it's basically like, instead of having 26 letters and 10 numbers, if everyone adopts this ISO, I'm going to call it ASCII, it's probably not that, but if everyone adopts this ISO ASCII paper, then we have our new letters are ampersand pound 001, 002, 003, and that goes all the way up to like a really high number. It's not actually 1,000, but it's very high. So it's like 256 characters instead of being 36 characters. Because everyone adopted those standards, it took several decades. There was war going on about Japanese and Chinese hieroglyphs were just, it's like a war of like, how do we standardize these things? Because they had their own model, but their model was incongruent with our model. I'm probably boring the shit out of you guys, but eventually we agreed on this ISO that I just can't think of the name of right now off the top of my head. And once that happened, you now can actually tell someone telepathically, hey, ampersand pound 064 semicolon, and boom, I just put a smiley face. Because the ISO included all, and this is another reason why there was a war over this, is because what icons do we think are important enough to allow into this subset? So all of your astrology icons are in there. All of your smiley, there's a certain subsets of smiley faces. Keep in mind that Japan uses their eyes a lot more than America uses their mouth.
So even that was a war because America's wanted more mouth-oriented emoticons, while Eastern wanted more eye-based emoticons too. But eventually, we have what we have now, which is precisely why you'll see in the middle of text, you're like, how did someone paste this weird-looking unicorn guy? And it's because of that ISO standard, which is in a way, we taught ourselves a cultural language, didn't we? You know, we all agreed, here's going to be our language, and a lot of people that are already around are never going to know how to use it. But in the long term, people will catch up, and we're seeing that happen right now.
It makes me wonder about hieroglyphs. You talk about hieroglyphs, and hieroglyphs communicate like word for word, blah, blah, blah. It's like they communicate ideas, right? And that's what they're learning. We're learning to translate is that these hieroglyphs were communicating stories through basically simple characters, but that trying to extrapolate and like put it into like Charles Dickens terms, right? Charles Dickens would need 1,000 words to transcribe what 10 hieroglyphic symbols were trying to convey.
Yes. Yeah.
Did anyone see that movie Arrival?
Mm-hmm.
It was about that like octopus thing, and it comes down and there's this universal language. It's like a circle language.
Yeah.
And it brought peace to the earth. So it's almost like the opportunity to have like a universal iconic language to communicate, universal consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because isn't that the way that we can use language, and language can be so easy to misunderstand or misconstrue, right? We got so many words.
That's why texting is so dangerous. Texting is so dangerous.
It's also sarcasm is almost impossible in this new language.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. You can be sarcastic, but you more have to be sort of edgelord, like edgelord is the new sarcasm, if that makes sense, which means you can't actually directly go against it. Like a sarcasm would be, I'm going to say literally the opposite. So an edgelord has no choice but to say what they're saying, but to say it to the most extreme degree. So sarcasm is more of an amplification now, and it's more honest, isn't it? Like edgelord is much more honest than a sarcastic, which would say the exact opposite. So in a way, Gaia or the language set cleaned us up. It made us say, look, you're going to have a lot more emoticons, but you're going to have to be edgelordy. This is going to be a much better way for you to create. It's not like it made us, but I'm just saying we noticed, that we were having more success, that people weren't misinterpreting us.
Yeah.
It's interesting about sarcasm and a lot of the, recovery groups and everything. It said sarcasm was a ripping of the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
And an edgelord would just be an amplification of a point of view, but not a ripping of someone else's flesh using words.
Yeah. In a way, edgelord is more righteous.
Yeah.
It's more self-pride, while sarcasm is more, I'm defecating my words because I'm talking out of my ass, like I'm purposely defiling myself. Yeah, this pride thing has really, really been tripping me out because, the meaning of that word versus how we treat it. Meanwhile, this is blowing me away, but meanwhile, all these disenfranchised youth, the white nationalist kind of Groyper crowd, I think they just need pride.
Yeah.
Because they're saying we don't have any pride. I mean, they're not allowed to use that word because the word pride has like a bunch of like things around it. Yeah, it's just it's. I don't even know if they're demons, but a lot of spellcraft around it. Yeah. So yeah, same thing. Same thing. And they can't embrace that because they can't embrace that. That's the opposite of where they are. They're going to lose their identity if they slip out of this and go over there. And I think that the word pride is actually, the rainbow is doing so much more heart work than we know. And I think that the Nazification
of that group is actually ultimately going to reveal that a lot of them are just kind of pridophobic, really. Ultimately, I think they're clinging to their fertility cult sort of history of what makes a man a man. They don't feel that they're allowed to be a man. And the reason why they don't feel they're allowed to be a man is because the fertility cult is dying. The idea that society is going to be built around a fertility cult, which is a nuclear family that has a patriarchal, like even today I was writing about how really a home is a place where people live. Where in a fertility cult, a home is there's a husband and a wife and children. And this is why so many of us have felt broken so long, because we see so many broken homes, and we only know it's broken because the fertility cult told us that this is the only way to live. And having that model of this being the only way to live is what allowed us to build a culture. So it's great. But as with other cults that are here to guide us through society, some things go and some things change. And now there's this cult of pride. And this cult of pride has this interesting flag that is so intense at gathering all of this energy. From love to hate, it's just, wow, what a powerful, magical item this thing is. And every single time it's adding something to it, it's L, then it's G, then it's T, then it's B, LGBTQ, then it's plus. And then even now I was noticing there's a war because it's like, why did you add black people to this flag? Why did you add Native Americans to this flag is the latest thing. And you're watching a pride tribe, a nation, a pride nation that has color, and you're looking at an older nation that's pure white. And if you can picture the dark side of the moon, that prism, you have a white beam that's coming in from the left, from the west. It's hitting that prism and it's being split into all these other rainbow shades of light. This is happening right now. Like we're watching this process. And when I used to hate the pride flag, and then when I used to think that it had to mean because you didn't want to have kids, all those have been evolutions to where I'm at now, which is that pride flag, I swear to you, it just means you're indigenous. It just means that you believe that you have soil, that you are colored by the earth. So the white is transmitted through space. It's Zion. It doesn't have a home. It doesn't have a land. It doesn't have a pride. It doesn't have anything that it would need to declare itself. It's a wanderer. So even the white man itself, it's never really supposed to be your final destination. Ultimately, the white man who feels disingenuous, disenfranchised, thank you, it is proper to feel that way because he doesn't have the soil to place his roots in. I know some of you have heard me say this before, but this has just really been tripping me out lately because you're seeing both sides are like so close. Like they're so on top of each other. They know who each other is. Any second, this could like come together and there could be this instant native indigenous movement that would just be like Hopi prophecy. Holy fuck.
Rainbow, rainbow tribe.
Exactly.
But you know, in white, in the color white, all colors reside.
Yes.
Yeah.
All potential.
And isn't that fascinating when we talk about pride, that the fact that the celebration of pride is in the rainbow, right? It's like there's where the empowerment is to embrace the pride, and like we're saying, it's the white light is the one who's afraid to take pride, and where like they're struggling with that pride. They don't feel that pride. They won't declare who they are openly, right, or what they feel openly. whereas those on the other side of the rainbow are demonstrating that they're exhibiting that pride openly, and the the white side is feeling shame and not willing to embrace their pride for where they're at. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. In the land of the Inca, there's in Cusco, which is the navel of the earth, their flag is a rainbow. That's how I learned that the dome of the rainbow, it binds the people to thinking the red's at the top of the rainbow. But the red's not at the top of the rainbow because the rainbow's a circle. So it's at the bottom of the rainbow. So red as the resonance color is the lowest frequency of the colors. And then violet is, the highest. Mm-hmm. So its color is light and light is frequency. Mm. So we're about to get to where the rainbow is going to be seen as a circle, and everybody's in the rainbow.
Yeah, the hoops, the great hoop.
And the thing that with the pride thing, this is where, like you were saying, James, the fact that there could be sort of a connection there to understand that it's like, you know what, if you're one color of the rainbow and you accept that all the colors of the rainbow are valid, that means you're valid too, and you don't have to fight against the rainbow.
That's right.
Yep. And check it out.
We could sing Rainbow Connection.
The gauntlet that you have to go through in order to get there. There's a gauntlet, and that gauntlet is you have to be willing to be embarrassed. I swear. No, I swear. I'm not kidding. This isn't a joke. I mean, I'm glad you're laughing, but it's like, this is such a perfect test that if you could
embrace your friends.
Yeah. And all the people that are like, you're gay, that's gay.
Yep,
that is exactly.
You have to fly a freak flag.
This is exactly the membrane, the eggshell that you need to break through. So this is why I've been really just loving this, how powerful this ritual is. And when I'm on Twitter and I'm posting stuff, and if I say something that's even slightly this way, or I've been telling people that there's 3 genders on Tucker Carlson's Facebook stuff, and they're just like so mad, and they call me all those names, and it's so
what
beautiful.
What percentage of people are born hermaphrodite?
I think that it's hard to say how many would normally be born naturally hermaphrodite because of the way culture is. Mm-hmm. So at least as much as 2%.
Yeah. And then they make these decisions, to surgically do things.
Yeah.
But this is actually truth.
So many of them you don't even know until they grow up.
Genitalia matures.
When they get old enough, there's a gentleman that kept bleeding, and the doctor kept telling him that this was an injury, some kind of like anus injury or something. And for years he had been told that. And the doctor never even looked. Like, they never even looked. And when they're interviewing this human, the human's explaining, I don't know if it's because of the poison. I don't know if it's because of this. And I started crying because I'm just like, you're a god. You're a patriarch. Yeah. Why are you ashamed of this? And I know why I'm ashamed, or why he's ashamed, because they're looking at the world around him or her. I don't know. I don't know what. Yeah. I guess it does seem to express. This person does seem to express himself more as a male. It's sort of like a farmer type, and it'd be hard to tell. If
he had blood, then he had a womb.
Yeah, and so many of these actually happen, but you just don't know. They don't know. So even the statistics I'm hesitant to talk about, because it's just like, man, who knows what it would be? Who knows what it was? Even in Rome, it's amazing how many statues of hermaphroditus have been found and preserved. It's a lot. It's not. I mean, I get it that a lot of historians would note on that and say, well, it's because it's so peculiar. And of course, Rome loved their peculiar things, and I think that's valid. But think about all the peculiar things in Rome. The fact that there's so many of this one particular character that has both genitals. It's such a high frequency again that it does make me wonder how many people were actually like that, because so many of the cults in Rome were the same. Of course, we have many multi-genders in Native America. I thought it was like a leftist, like revisionist history thing when I first heard that. I was like, there's no fucking way that they had like fairy gay guys in Turtle Island. And they
twin
did.
souls. What did they call them?
Twin gender or something?
Twin soul. They were like the highly acclaimed shamans.
And it was across
twin spirited.
Yeah, twin spirit. Yeah. And it was it was seen pristinely, right? Meaning that
really pristinely.
In New Mexico you saw it, and you also saw it in Florida. Just like you saw these too. other I'm sure, yeah. So it's like there's no way that this is just like a one-time thing.
No.
And it's an important part of understanding who we are. And watching how much people are freaking out about it just makes me believe it even more.
And that's the thing. Because there's a shame around it, right? It's like that's the reason that people try to identify in such rigid ways, because of shame. It's like they're
the opposite of pride. Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that fascinating? and all the I wish I could say this more intellectually, because I don't want it to sound like an insult, but I really do think that the Republican Party itself really is just the reason why so many of them have Grindr accounts, the reason why the extreme right hates women, has this weird idea about disenfranchised sexuality because they're men. They're like male disenfranchisement. This is the part where I wish I could say this more intellectually. I just think they're closeted. They do not have the courage to taste the rainbow, like to even claim that as a symbol. They don't think that they'll survive if they die. Do you see what I mean? They know they'll have to die to get across that prism.
The solar plexus area is blocked by shame, and it's grace and honor that is unblocked. But thinking about the masculine and feminine mix in the solar plexus from the sun and the earth, it's like that mix. It's the middle part of your body.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. In Peru, the prophecy is that when Wittixihuitlacocha, when he got cut in half, and they're waiting for the two halves to come back together.
Oh, like the dollar bill.
Yeah, like the dollar bill. It's like payday at the solar plexus.
Nice.
I like that.
For shame.
Yeah.
It's like that's like nothing's broken. Mm-hmm. It is showing its true colors, the rainbow colors. I was State of the Union. I was in the Walmart a couple of days ago on Turtle Island, and I was at the toy section, and there was a person down there. He must have been in 40-something, and dressed adorable, purple hair, mask. Yeah, it was you, Brad. And it was. They were shopping the toy aisle. And it was a rainbow unicorn with no shame in the toy aisle.
Nice.
So that's a positive thing, that somebody in their 40s dressed as a child with purple hair was able to shop in the toy aisle.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
In the deep South.
That's amazing, Lori.
That's positive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get why they're like screaming, those blue hair, blah, blah, blah. That's the power of imagination.
Yeah.
Their power of imagination is so powerful that it scares the shit out of people.
Yeah.
And the people it scares the shit out of are in the closet. They want to play so bad. They want to play,
but they only have their toy soldiers.
They want to play, and they don't want to be called gay. And and I don't think that they understand that look,
if you're going to turn away from the fertility cult long enough to step outside the altar, literally, the fertility cult, the only way you're going to be able to turn away from that is to embrace a symbol that would look anti-fertility, and that would be looking like some sort of gay symbol, like a rainbow. So it's a very specific magic. It's like very appropriate is what I'm trying to say. It holds the shame. It fits the simulation perfectly because you're afraid to do it. The peer pressure of the church around you is the fertility of it all. Everyone's going to call you the anti-fertilitist, i.e. gay, if you turn around. And they're going to misconstrue it or they're going to whatever. And then you're going to have your imagination because you're going to break free from the shame of what that's like to be in that congregation and to be cast out and to be called a blue hair. And if you can survive that, you are going to be able to play. You are going to win.
Yep, you went through the membrane of that egg. Yeah, that's really a good visual for that.
I was thinking, James, about that. I wanted to do a quick research on it, but you posted something on the swastika. And I remember it being an ancient Vedic, highly, highly divine feminine symbol that, well, they turned it in the other direction. So it was in the left, like spiraling down into the earth as the original swastika. Mm-hmm. But then they turned it to the right for the power. And again, another, shame because in that time, which we're going through right now, a big shame wave, where the fertility cult wants to shame. And I don't think that rainbow people are anti-family. I think a lot of them have family.
Mm-hmm, of course.
A lot of them have children. They just choose to have children in a different way.
Yeah.
But, I was thinking about that, World War I and what happened to Germany's pride. It got shamed and penalized and taxed. And then they took this swastika and they rose again into some kind of fascist, whatever the truth is, who knows?
Yeah, because they deserved it.
Yeah.
But they didn't feel that they deserved it yet. They had to practice and try. And ultimately, they were able to crawl. They were able to get on their knees. They were able to stand. And the rest of the world wasn't having it.
If the rest of the world is, we after World War II, because both sides of the war was funded by us, and we came out this victorious, industrial nation from, the backs of others on Turtle Island. Mm-hmm. I kind of see that now, if the State of the Union is what's going on with Turtle Island, it's got the same kind of flavor.
Yeah. Well, I was noticing that there was at least like 200 Nazi colonies before World War II in America too. Like towns that had just gone full Nazi, just super prideful. And it was really scaring people. People got really, really afraid of it. And you really did have a war of dual citizenship between Jewish colonies and Nazi colonies in America. So it's definitely a worldwide phenomenon of that of that symbol, the swastika. When I can't think of the exact name of it, but I remember that in the sense of if you see the Wunderschnitt, if you see the swastika going counterclockwise, then either you are creating the world or you are looking at the world that is being created for you. Mm-hmm. And that this is the eye of Shiva.
Yeah.
And when a lot of people are not ready to render their own world because they fear Kali, they fear the guilt of being the destroyer, they'd rather be a passive passenger so that they're not held responsible for the world that's being created. And so those would be people that would naturally gravitate to the opposite of Wunderschnitt, which is would be clockwise.
Please know I could be getting which one's clockwise and counterclockwise wrong, but it is Wunderschnitt, I think, is the German term for it, and that they pulled that from India, from that symbol itself, and that's an important part of it too.
Yeah, it's interesting how the symbols are showing where, it's like the hieroglyphics. And then, we're in this like, deep remembering, because this is like, Turtle Island is like evolving.
Yeah.
Right now she's evolving through a lot of plasma, a lot of stuff coming in from this solar. Who knows what is activating in her core right now? The volcanoes and there's just a lot of weather, and there's
Egypt just came online.
Upgrading,
Yeah, Egypt just came online. Their grand museum finally opened. This has been just 50 years in the making. The Rosetta Stone could actually be returned. UK's been asked, hey, give us our rock back. So the very prism that allowed us to unlock the hieroglyphs and to read what they said, the understanding of Coptic and Greek, all the same message carved into this stone 3 times. That coming back to Egypt as soon as this museum is opening, there's all this magic. Even the drone dragons that are flying over China right now are just so beautiful. The flying dragons of old are here. Osiris is floating above the pyramids in these drone shows there. So all of the picturesque things that we had in our past are happening now, and that's retroactively proving the mythology to be true way back then. So the past and the future are polyphonically touching. The notes themselves are touching, and we're able to kind of traverse both sides because we can revere history. That's why I think when the AI is teaching, well, it already is. It's been teaching us since Encyclopedia Britannica. but as these things, when schools shut down and curiosity is the new engine of intelligence and education, because ultimately that really is the best teacher anyway. I think we basically have that now. We're just kind of in denial about, no, schools are important, but ultimately it's curiosity that's going to be our best teacher. And then that puts all of our emotion back into it. We're not regurgitating. We're naturally following our genius. And that puts all the torque and the belief back in it. It dissolves the hypothetical. It removes the safety of let's do this on paper with a pencil that has an eraser. It makes everything more tangible, which means you can experience it more, which means limbically we remember more, we understand more, and we start doing weird shit like 6-7. We start doing weird stuff like memes, but like, cartoons. A political cartoon, The Far Side was, what the fuck is this? Like that one panel shot, when that thing came online, this was like very genius, because all the other panels were 4 or 5 panels. It was a journey. It was 1 stop, 2 stop, 3 stop, then punchline. You couldn't just have it all out there. That itself is the same kind of artificial intelligence, this meta language. We're able to absorb that more because limbically, emotionally, we have all the resolution in our emotions, because that's how the brain works.
Yeah, and
I was going to say, remember on Ren and Stimpy when they used to do those like ultra close-up watercolor frames? It looked like a really gross, like detailed painting in Ren and Stimpy, but it would only be for like one still frame that they'd zoom in on. It was like a really intense frame.
Oh, wow.
Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah. And it would always be like gross. It'd be like pimples or oozing out or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like water, like high quality watercolor looking painting.
That's edgelord.
Like the rest of the cartoon.
Yeah. That's kind of edgelord.
Education comes in, right? It's the fact that what real education happens when the student, let's say, is engaged, right? So when it's
Right.
rote and you're like, this is the standard, it's like, that's just regurgitation. But when it's active, when the person learning the thing, like you're saying,
Yeah.
is actively engaged in their own learning, that's where real education is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
Oh,
it's the
for
same
sure.
way.
And now that we can look up anything we want whenever we want, I mean, it's just so fantastic to be able to look up the swastika at 5 a.m. and ask if it's affiliated with the pole star, and if the arms could be considered the arms of a clock. I mean, and just have this great conversation with this GAIA,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just so abundant what we can learn. And I don't think ignorance is really going to be. You aren't going to be able to say you're ignorant. If you breathe, like
Right.
you could really look into this. It's going to be hard to feign that.
Yeah.
As we go down the road here with all this access.
Totally.
It'll be harder to maintain willful ignorance, right, Renee? You know
Ignore, ignorance. Yeah. And it's okay. I mean, I ignore opening certain bills. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm ignoring it. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
What I'm doing.
It could be that
I know how much is my bank account, so opening that bill ain't going to make a difference.
It could be that actually ignorance is going to be fine, because really what's going to happen is the word education is going to fall apart, because education is sort of like you have to pretend like you know stuff because you've been memorized and you've regurgitated this stuff, and we get to call you stupid if you don't know it because you have a different letter, and we've assigned an emotional tone to an F versus an A. And we get pluses and minuses and GPAs and SATs and ACT scores, and all that would go away. All of that would disappear. And if that disappeared, and education that word, I don't think it wouldn't be used again.
No,
it would be a different word, and that word would be more homeschool. It would be something more akin to some language. They already have that word, I'm sure, and enrichment or something like that. But
trusting the individual's experience of reality rather than this cold codified idea of what reality is, right? It goes back to the subjective. It's like your subjective connection to this, how you subjectively connect to this, is important.
I think critical thinking and like being a polymath, because I think that the high levels of math need to have some kind of structure to get to levels of being able to solve mathematical equations. So there's something about that can be learned in a different way. And then the rest, the regurgitation stuff, no longer needs to be tested.
Well, I was trying to.
Critical thinking is important.
Yeah.
And socialization. Somehow socializing.
Yeah, trusting in your perspective. Do you know what I mean? It's like the fact that your perspective is valid in the way that you interpret the world, right? And giving individuals the pride enough to appreciate that, yes, these empirical structures, if you will, like this reality is shared, but that your interface with it is also valuable. Do you know what I mean?
I think that, sharing, like if Gaia was, we're doing a Turtle Island report, wouldn't Gaia want as much reverence as, what money is? Money is not anything compared to a tree, but you're going to get money if you chop the tree and make lumber out of it, right? But you don't think about quality of life and what the tree is exchanging for oxygen and carbon dioxide, all of that. And it's like this whole level of education will change if everyone gets connected more to the turtle and being part of it. I
think the education that we're stepping into is going to be it's more important to be able to come up with unique questions than to be able to pull the answers from your memory.
Yeah.
Having the creativity to come up with questions or make connections that weren't made before.
That's the genius,
if you have the information at your fingertips, you just need somebody that can work with it in a unique way. Everybody has access to the information.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't have education,
you end up with a more exploratory kind of experience. And ignorance is also would change, because ignorance wouldn't be seen as something negative. It would be seen as an opportunity, because everyone in the room is allowed to not know something, because the education that we had before really made that too expensive. And if you didn't know something, typically wouldn't tell people. A lot of people will just not admit they don't know something. It's always profound.
Yeah, even like on the playground as a kid, someone would ask you if you've seen a movie, and you'd say yes, even though you know you haven't seen it, or
right,
silly things like that.
Yeah, I always found it
like it was embarrassing to not know.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole game, right? It's like, it's not sexy to be ignorant, but once you don't mind, like, you can be in that space where it's like you can be okay being ignorant of what you don't know, but being solid in what you do know, which again comes down through your subjective experience, right? It just opens up a whole new level of interacting in the space, because your ability to play when you don't have to be in the rules, the rules that are set in that regard, right? So the imagination opens up. The imagination is only constricted by the rules that you feel like you're confined to, right? And when you don't have fear or shame over your ignorance, because we all have ignorance in some places, right? Then you can tap into what you do know, or what you are, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So you can imaginate from your space, knowing full well I don't know everything, and that's okay.
Well, I don't even I don't even know if it would ever even be seen as something that would ever not be okay. If you think about the imagination of a child on a playground, the fact that you don't know what that kid has in his hand is in fact the play. There's no shame there when he goes, "What is that?" And he's like, "It's a caterpillar," and that's anti-educational. It's this other word. And if you didn't have education there, that would become more important. So you finding someone who did not know what you know is in fact where we meet each other. That's kind of how my show works. My show is, I'm trying to make you guys as ignorant as I can so we can have fun. Like, I'm trying to show up, I'm trying to
not an indoctrination, but an undoctrination, an unlearning.
Yeah, there's that for sure, because you would want to like deprogram what was there.
Yeah.
I was trying to get to the idea though that I'm looking for fresh ignorance so that I can surprise you and we can have a good time. And that's sort of like a sacred berry that you would want, or the red pheasant. And so it's like, what can I present that I think that they wouldn't know the most, because that's a special kind of flavor. We're embracing the ignorance already. My model is meant to hunt that down and specifically tickle that part. So that model already works, but we do have there's a lot of people that maybe will come into the show at first and they have the education, and that makes it very difficult to understand what I'm doing, because they don't understand that there's pride here, that they don't understand that the ignorance is actually the feature, and that you being even feeling ashamed because you're hanging out with a dude that's called Luciferian, or all the other challenges, you haven't learned to even see them as something kind of enjoyable. So you don't really like my show because you have too much education. You do have this inability to be playful because of that.
Right.
Well, you're too invested. You've invested in that knowledge, and it's hard to see that, is something that's not applicable. But hey, welcome to the Aquarian age.
And that's the unlearning that Lori was mentioning. If you can't unlearn that, and this is the going through the prism, right? Are you going to survive? No, you're not. That's the whole point, dude. The whole point is no, you're not going to survive. And you're like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, think about it. And then you're thinking about it. Wait, I get to die? Yeah, dude, you get to die on the rainbow slide. You get to die on the rainbow slide. Head first, baby.
You'll never be the same.
Head first, right?
The old you must die.
Yeah, that's beautiful,
Record.
That's great.
Record. Mm-hmm. We're going to cord back up here. That's right. We cut the cord and now we're going to record. Mm-hmm. So it's more, I was thinking it's more of a record than a rebirth.
Yeah. Mm. This is the same word though, isn't it? To get a new chord.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
I did that whole art piece on the RE, rendering from your work, James, because it was you know how many REs there are in the dictionary?
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. So I love that record.
Nice. Yeah, there's a lot of reruns.
What that one prefix does. What that one prefix does.
Yeah.
Renee.
Yeah. My favorite is.
Wait a minute, that's mine too. I got a re.
Yeah.
Rendering Renee.
Yeah. I think recognize.
That's why being the last name is so poetic. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I like James? I really like recognize. That really tripped me up because you notice that you're cognizing again.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
And so therefore all of knowledge is just, I heard that before. It doesn't even mean it has to be true. It's just, if you've heard it before, then you recognize oh my God, all education is fucking recognizing, which is
exactly.
It is too. Most of the big realizations that I've ever come to always feels more like you're I already knew that, but I had forgotten it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's remembering.
It's
yes, Lori, remember. Yeah.
It's remembering. And when I remember to wear my overalls, that means I'm in Hyoka medicine. Right? Because I'm doing a rendering.
Yeah.
So how do we render this what we want to manifest in the eternal now, in this materium? Because we're rendering the reality. Mm-hmm. And when nothing's broken, it's pretty fun.
That's right.
It's just like the rainbow connection.
Well, it's freeing because it says you're moving beyond a place of shame or anything like this. And that's just it. There is some freedom there to, again, play. And I think that when you can get over shame and find pride, you can play. You can get on the playground and you can hide that caterpillar in your hands, which may or may not be a caterpillar.
And sing really loud off key.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I wish I could play that right now. These guys, there's this Mexican duo. I've sent it to a few of you guys before. They're just adorable though, but they start the video and one's like a big Hawaiian looking, oh, this guy's gonna be great. He's got a ukulele, that he's got his nice suave friends behind him, and then
he's gonna be like Brother Is, but
yeah,
he's not.
And you just know, oh my God, this is gonna be good. And then they start singing and they're just like
so sweet.
They're so sweet. They're adorable, aren't they? Oh my God, I'm in love with those guys. I'm just look at you guys. So beautiful.
You're we could put on a concert.
Yeah, Madison Square Gardens, dun, dun, dun.
Go on
tour. It's no different than Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
So how much would that do to break the spell of the sort of corporate image of
totally, Brad? Yeah. Yeah.
We should all put up a video with us singing really loud off key. Make people cringe.
That's right. I
think the new medicine is cringe.
It's very edgelord. That is interesting. I'm not saying that is the phrase, but I think that phrase does fit. If you watch what everyone has to do to survive, you just have to edgelord it.
Edgelord.
Yeah.
The master of cringe.
And once you master that, you're now playing to a society that isn't going to go hungry because you're not using enough vowels or you're using too many, It's a different world. And so, yeah, the hieroglyphic language is important, which is, I don't think we'll ever be taught. We were taught to be as stoic as possible when we communicate. And I don't think you'll ever see that again. No. A 5-year-old's going to be like, yo, Dad, why don't you fuck off, man? Like, it's not even like irreverent, but it's just like, that's going to be, you're going to need that kind of depth in the language for that child to survive in the world, for him to grow or her to grow or even whatever it is to grow in this society is going to require a lot more bandwidth for them. And I think you're seeing a lot of this in these new kids, in the new family structures, in the new definition of what a home is even. It's quite profound. I can see why everybody's freaking out, but also I can see, honestly, I could see how much better I would have done growing up. I mean, I love my life, but in reference to seeing where we're at, it's just like, wow, if I would have grown up in this, I have a much more positive view of it. I'll put it that way. Like than I did 3 years ago. I'm more seeing like, God, if I could have grown up as an 8K kid, holy fuck, man.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. It really is. Yeah.
Being a furry,
Yeah, being a furry your whole life.
Or a pony boy.
or being in your 20s or 30s and really being into Pokemon or something, like earnestly just loving that world. And I just think the extension of that, and I know, Nate, you have a great collection.
Yeah,
and I'm just
right,
right, you're looking at them, right, and I just think that is wonderful, and it seems to go along with our turtle tour that we're about to be landing. Everybody, we're about to hit Orion's
so
belt.
Great at this, Renee.
And we're gonna unsnap our belt and get off on this airship. Hey, James, this has been a fun flight.
That's right. Thank you so much, guys.
Tires are solid for landing, so we're good.
Oh, thank goodness.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody.
I